tattoo like a young O'Shea with an AK.
Okay, don't you tell these motherfuckers that my name is O'Shea.
Finding ways to turn 1 to 10, 10 to 100. It wasn't about just being kosher with making a few dollars. We really wanted to make some real money in this game.
What up, everyone? It's the Nation of Podcation Daily Podcast. I'm O'Shea. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. By 2002, the Hot Boys were considered dead, disbanded, over, finito, finished. Lil Wayne released his next album, 500 Degrees, which is his first album without any of the Hot Boys. Now, obviously, with the album title, Lil Wayne was taking shots at Juvenile and his 400 Degrees album, basically saying Juvenile's album was 400 degrees, Lil Wayne's was 500 degrees, just a little bit hotter than Juvie's. This album was led by the single Way of Life and the 500 Degrees single, which took shots at the Hot Boys. The album also didn't live up to the previous Cash Money releases, but was still a gold effort from Lil Wayne.
Out the side of your shirt, I'm a 17, and I ride with a Tony. And on the lanes, we done lost that. No, we got is Weezy, and Lil Weezy to fall back. If I'm the only hot boy, then what do you call that?
BG released his first album off Cash Money called Living Legends and started his own label, Chopper City Records. Living Legends had the hit single Hottest of the Hot and fired several shots at the Cash Money CEO Birdman and Lil Wayne.
You know me, then you know I'm about to shoot 'em up and bang, bang, your wife.
BG's Living Legend album failed to live up to any of his previous albums with Cash Money, but did chart the rap charts at number 5 and sold a modest 300,000 units. Now, Juvenile didn't take kindly to Lil Wayne taking his album title and didn't hold back releasing his next project mixtape album called 600 Degrees. Obviously, with Lil Wayne's being titled 500 Degrees, Juvie came with 600 Degrees, saying that his was a little bit hotter. Juvenile responded on this song with his artist Skip called A Hoe. A Hoe took shots at Lil Wayne and Birdman kissing on 106 in Park, Rap City, and then the viral photo of Wayne and Birdman kissing.
What kind of nigga kissing up a man?
This effort by Juvenile didn't chart or move well at all. Hot Boy Turk released his second solo album and first off Cash Money called Raw and Uncut. Now, this was the first that we saw a collaboration between the Hot Boys, as BG appeared on this album with Turk on the song Put Your Rags Up. This album also failed to live up to his first effort, but did sell 200,000 units. As you will see, this will be a reoccurring thing for the Hot Boys who left Cash Money, with their album sales not equaling up to what they did on the label. Without the Cash Money Universal Machine, their album sales took significant drops. By 2003, Juvenile was having financial and legal issues and worked out a one-album deal to return to Cash Money Records. Juvie released Juvie the Great on December 23, 2003, with lead singles In My Life, Bounce Back, and Slow Motion, which surprisingly was Juvenile's only #1 hit, which was assisted by the late great Soulja Slim, who had been shot and killed in New Orleans in November of that year. Even with the return to Cash Money, there was still no collaboration between Lil Wayne and Juvenile on either of their albums, even though Wayne did make an appearance in Juvenile's music videos. Album was a success for both Juvenile and Cash Money and settled part of their financial issues between Birdman and Juvenile. Cash Money also released a new Hot Boys album called Let 'Em Burn. This was all archived material that was recorded in 1999 in the year 2000. The album failed to live up to their previous efforts and failed to reach gold status. BG released his next album, Life After Cash Money, and continued to diss Birdman and Lil Wayne. BG said he also had no ill feelings towards Juvenile for going back to Cash Money, but said he would never go back to Cash Money. The album was an underground success, but failed to live up to the efforts released on Cash Money, but sold a respectable 200,000 units.
This album number 8, Life After Cash Money.
Juvenile finished up his contractual obligations to Cash Money and decided to leave once again, this time signing with Atlantic Records, and created his UTP Records with Skip, Wacko, and Young Buck. And this is Young Buck before he signed with G Unit. After 2 mixtapes, UTP The Compilation and Street Stories, the trio of Juvenile, Skip, and Wacko released the Beginning of the End album as a joint venture with Rap-A-Lot Records. The album spawned the hit single Know Ya Clap, followed by the less successful What's Up. The album peaked at number 15 on the US rap charts and sold approximately 200,000 units.
What's up? Y'all hear that? Know Ya Clap? Westside, what's up?
Now, while all this is going on, this is the first devastating hit that the Hot Boys took. While all the diss records were out, those were just words and hurt feelings that could be mended. But when Turk found himself in some serious legal trouble in 2004. In January of 2004, dozens of narcotics officers and SWAT officers served a search warrant for drugs believed to be inside Turk's apartment in South Memphis, Tennessee. After knocking on the door and identifying themselves that led to no response, the officers entered and began searching the apartment. Turk then allegedly shot at them with a 9mm handgun. The officers and the SWAT team returned fire, engaging in a 15-minute shootout with Turk. Turk finally surrendered to the Shelby County officers and the SWAT team. Turk was charged in late January of 2004 with first-degree attempted murder for allegedly shooting 2 Memphis, Tennessee police officers. Turk served 8 years of his 10-year sentence. During this time, Turk still continued to release music while he was locked up. He released Penitentiary Chances in April of 2004, which many considered his best work, but was nowhere near as successful as his previous efforts, selling around 40,000 units. Over the next 2 years, Turk will release 2 more albums from behind bars, Still a Hot Boy, which from a sales standpoint was his worst effort, and this album failed to chart, and Convicted Felons, which sold approximately 20,000 units, and was the last time we would hear from Turk for a long time. BG continued to put out quality albums with his new Chopper City imprint. Heart of the Streets Volume 1 and 2 were released and had great underground success, which helped continue to make BG's name ring in the streets, making him a modern underground living legend. Both volumes sold 150 and 200,000 units respectively.
If you could catch me, not strapped, nigga, you good. Come back, kid. I'm getting money, looking good, just look at the
BG also released the Chopper City Boys, We Got This, and Life in the Concrete Jungle. Both albums sold well, reaching around 100,000 units sold per album. Now, during this time, Cash Money was becoming a global powerhouse. Lil Wayne, Birdman, and Mannie Fresh were the lone holdovers from the Cash Money millionaires era. Lil Wayne released his 4th studio album, The Carter. Lil Wayne re-solidified himself as one of the best in the game. He released his Squad Up mixtapes with his new group of rappers and took over the rap game. Lil Wayne's The Carter was another platinum effort from Lil Wayne, which is an achievement none of the other Hot Boys did after leaving Cash Money. Lil Wayne became the most sought-after feature artist, and this was the launch of his Young Money empire. Without making this whole thing about Lil Wayne, we all know what he has done in the rap game since leaving the Hot Boys. His Carter series albums 1 through 5 all went at least platinum, with Carter 3 and 4 going platinum in the first week. The Drought mixtape series, the Sorry for the Wait series, the No Ceiling series, he brought us Drake, Nicki Minaj, Tiger during his Young Money run. Wayne put himself in a class of arguably the greatest of all time. Now, at this point, things were looking good for the Hot Boys and a Hot Boys reunion, because on BG's last album, Too Hood to Be Hollywood, on the song You Heard Me, for the first time since 2001, we got all the Hot Boys who were available. BG, Juvenile, and yes, Lil Wayne.
One of the realest niggas ever done it.
During this time, BG had his run-in with the law and set the Hot Boys reunion back even further. On December of 2009, BG was arrested in New Orleans after police pulled over his vehicle during a routine traffic stop. During this search, police found 3 guns, 2 of which were reported stolen. BG was booked into New Orleans Parish Jail on illegal carrying of weapons charge. According to his indictment, BG was in possession of a firearm between August of 2009 and again on November of 2009. It also states that Dorsey and his 2 passengers in the vehicle conspired to obstruct justice when one signed what prosecutors later categorized as a false affidavit when he took sole responsibility for the firearms. Prior to BG's trial, one passenger pleaded guilty for his role in the offenses and was sentenced to 20 years in prison, while the other pleaded guilty and received 30 months in prison. In December of 2011, Dorsey pleaded guilty to 2 counts of possession of a firearm and 1 count of conspiracy to obstruct justice. BG was sentenced to 14 years in a federal prison and 3 years federal supervision upon his release. Just as BG was incarcerated, Turk was released. Check out the next chapter of the Hot Boys, The True Story.
Finding ways to turn 1 to 10, 10 to 100. It wasn't about just being kosher with making a few dollars. We really wanted to make some real money in this game.